Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Welcome to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, in Chaitanya Studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad. In the video series lecture for the course BBA for the subject of Management Accounting. Now, as we learn in a previous session, the different tools and techniques. So now we are start with our today's session to highlight of the management accounting devices, that is tools and techniques. The first point is that, my dear friend, it is an accounting framework which is supportive to management in taking imperative trade decisions. Second, my dear friends, it is based on the accounting data. It begins working as it were after the accounting work is over. It is concerned with the investigation of all accounting data which may be valuable to the management. It is also concerned with the planning of budget and budgetary control. It presents the accounting data in such a way where within the real execution is compared with the standard as laid down in budget. That means, my dear friends, you establishment or you evaluate your actual and standard data. Then it is concerned with introduction of accounting information at a standard interims within the form of the report before the management. Next point is, my dear friends, that is point of interest, or we can say the advantages of management accounting devices, or we can say the tools and techniques. The first point in this, that is helpful in a formulation of budget, or we can say the formulating budget. The budgets are the basis which are utilized to control the trade exercise by management. It is the work of management accountant to plan different budgets, like planning and the deal budget, planning deal or budget on the premises of the past figure of the deals, and shrewdly determining the planning generation budget on the basis of the deals estimation, or we can say the estimate and generation office available, or we can say in a different manner, that is prepare a material budget, production budget, sales and distribution budget, sales expenses budget. So there are different types of budget prepare over there. To defining your cash measurement, you have to prepare your cash budget. Also, for the long term planning, you have to prepare a capital budget. So here, my dear friends, in this point, the different accounting tools and techniques, especially for the management accounting tools and techniques, which are helpful in what, my dear friends? To formulating budget in efficient manner. And this require deciding the trade goals also, selecting legitimate methodology for accomplishing the objective of your accounting, that is management accounting. The second point is, my dear friend, that is easy for classification and arrangement of data. The accounting data has to be classified and properly arranged for presentation before the management. If your accounting data is not appropriate in nature, at that point of time, my dear friends, you have to suffer in a very deep concentrate, or we can say the in a big trouble. So your arrangement and presentation of data is it's a play and a very important role in nature. Say for example, figures of purchase and sales product wise, region wise, period wise have to be arranged in a proper form. The format of regular reports must be prepared in advance so that they may be presented regularly before the management as per their requirement. My dear friends, if you don't prepare or present the data in an efficient manner, in a proper manner, at that point of time, you don't take an appropriate decision. Yes or no? So it's a very useful in nature while you adopting some tools and techniques of the management accounting, that it easy to classify and arrange the data. Then assist in presentation and interpretation of accounting data. The accounting data must be presented before the management in its proper perspective so that it becomes meaningful. The interpretation of accounting data by means of accounting ratios, cash flow statement, different charts, different graphs, etc. And it must be made so that attention to the management, and it leads to the management by exceptions. So while you have proper data, while you have the arrangement of data, presentation of data in a appropriate manner, at that point of time, my dear friends, you require an interpretation of that accounting data. And while you interpret it in an efficient manner, at that point of time, my dear friends, management will take an appropriate decision. So ultimately, it helps into that. Next point is, my dear friends, that is preparation of routine report and special report. The management accountant is required to show two short reports before the management, that is routine reports, and another is a special report. When a few important alter is to be made within the trade, the management accountant is called upon to show an extraordinary report on the impact of such alter on the benefits and money related position. So ultimately, my dear friends, when you alter something, when you change something, when you add something, when you deduct something, when you multiply something, when you divided something, whatever the decisions taken by the management accountant, it has to be defined in appropriate report. And we can say that in an extraordinary report. For example, in case of a modern machine costing of rupees 20 lakhs is to be introduced for some we can say this supplanting to an ancient machine, that is we can say the exchanger. At that point of time, its impact on the benefits also, the cash presently also, then financially extensions also over there. So ultimately, my dear friends, when you are defining it in an appropriate manner, or when there is an effect of that alteration or any change or any addition or any subtractions over there, then it must be directly affect to your financial system. So on that ground, we can say in a week to week, day to day, month to month, quarterly, interim 6 month, or finally after a year, you have to give a report. You have to means management accountant has to be give a report. It may be the routine report and it may be the special report. Let us move to the another point, that is making management control effective. The top management cannot pay attention to minute detail of everything that is going on a business, but later on, my dear friends, the top management has a duty to define an appropriate management system, to evaluate and pay attention in each and every departmental position, and hence then the attention must be drawn to this activity only which are not proceeding as a planned. This is called management by exception. This will save a lot of time and tension of management. It is responsibility of management accountant to interpret the accounting data and draw the attention to the only such activities. Next point is, my dear friend, assisting in assessment of capital project. That is a big project, long-term projects. The capital projects like a substitution of the ancient machine by the modern machine. The plot of extension of trade, etc. And it include impressively expansive sum of capital expenditure. The management accountant is called upon to assess such a product, or we can say the project, in terms of benefits, necessity of extra reserves, and the source from which they can be obtained, etc. The elective projects are ultimately compared and assessed, and the management accountant makes a difference in selecting the one project. And for that, my dear friends, the assessment can be done in an easy manner, which is ultimately choose the best capital project over that period. So, the assessing of the assessment of capital project is also an important in nature. Let's move to the next point, my dear friends. That is restrictions, or we can say the limitations of management accounting devices, that is tools and techniques. In that, first point is, my dear friends, that is depends on financial accounting. Now, the first question is in your mind that, sir, why it is depend on financial accounting? Is there any relevance with the financial accounting and management accounting? So answer is yes, my dear friends. The management accounting is majorly depend on which accounting, that is financial accounting. Accounting has different branches, and in that, this management accounting depends on the financial accounting. Because in a management accounting, we interpret in details of that financial accounting data, which is useful for the management for take an appropriate decision. So let's discuss the first point, that is depends on financial accounting. The data essential for the reason of management accountancy is determined from monetary and cost accountancy. Hence, on the accuracy of the monetary and the cost information, the productivity of management accountancy depends. In case of monetary records, turn out to the inadequate the reports arranged by the management accountant on such a basis ought to do defective. The second point is, my dear friend, that is exceptions, or we can say the expectations of the knowledge of other subject. I use two words, that is exceptions and expectations. Why? Think about it. If you have the knowledge of only accounting, that you define the accounting in appropriate manner, so it is ultimately the exceptions of that rule where you don't have any other particular subject's knowledge. And for that, my dear friends, we have to expect something, that the knowledge of the other subjects also required. The management accounting makes us a techniques of number of subjects like economics, financial accounting, statistics, etc., policy making, etc. If the management lacks the knowledge of any of them, it will affect the utility of reports and ultimate solution of problem. So here, my dear friends, you have to you have the knowledge of different subject is required. Next is figures in money only. The management accountancy provides useful accounting data for policy decision, but the data so presented are only the form of money figure. The management accountant become helpless in case of events not capable of being expressed in figures. For example, he is able to compute the profitability or otherwise of the new project, but effect on the morale of employees cannot be measured by the management accountant. So ultimately it deals with only and only, my dear friends, money only. And thus we can say that the biggest limitation is figures in money only. Next is, it is very expansive in nature. The adoption of management accountancy requires a large number of trained and highly educated officers or other employees, in addition to preparation of the numerous records, and therefore it requires an elaborated organization which make it very expensive to install management accountancy system, and only the big firms can afford it. So here, my dear friends, we can say that it is very expansive in nature. because not each and every business unit can afford the management accountant, and they adopt the management accountancy. Let us move to the another point, that is decision by management. Management accountancy is only a tool of management for decision making. It provides such a data as would be useful to management, but the decisions are ultimately to be taken by management and not the management accountant. In spite of its rapid progress in the developed countries, like in the USA, the decisions are taken by the top management, which made the time ago against the reports presented by the management accountant. So we can say that here in a management accountancy, the top management play a vital role to make an appropriate decision. Next point is restrictions against the new system. Management accountancy could be a modern and creating teach and involve a part of moving and change, or we can say the changes within the set of design of organization, or we can say the set of management. Consequently, it is bound to meet with the opposition from the few quarter or the others. It has been despondent involvement of human history that changes and enhancement have continuously met with the hardened resistance within the beginning stage, and which would be softened to the certain extent later. Say for example, my dear friends, if you are adopting one accounting system since your business started, and then after the few years later you realize that the new system adoption is good for your business, but if you adopt that particular accounting system, it will abolish all the past data, and to understand this particular system is also take a time. So ultimately the involvement of the human history and the changes and enhancement have continuously made with the hardener resistance, and that's why, my dear friends, it ultimate restrict against the new system. So in this session, my dear friends, what we learn, that we learn different tools and techniques in a management accounting, highlights of some tools and techniques which can be the important in a nature. Then we evaluate the advantages and disadvantages, or we can say the advantages and limitations of management accounting devices and techniques. So in this session we learn the importance of tools and techniques, or we can say the devices and techniques in management accounting lies not so much in a collecting and furnishing the data, but it analyzing and presenting the data in a meaningful and purposeful way to the various authorities in the organization and help in effective management, decision and control. So it is very important in nature, my dear friends. So in this particular unit, or in particular this block 1 of the management accounting, we determine what is management accounting, what is financial accounting, how the financial accounting used in the management accounting, how the management accounting is used in a nature and how it will help to take decisions over that, and how the different tools and techniques can be used in this particular field. So this is what, my dear friends, we learn in this block, and this is very important while you study this particular subject called management accounting. After watching this video, you have to evaluate yourself in 3 aspects, and the 4th aspect is for your own understanding to defining or referring others book also or other material also. So first aspect is, my dear friends, that is a long question. Second aspect is a short question. Third aspect is multiple choice question. And 4th aspect is, if you want to refer something more about this unit, then you refer the different books. Let us discuss the first aspect, that is long questions. You have to write, or we can say that you have to write at your home the long question. The first question is that describe the management accounting devices, or we can say the tools and techniques. Then how management accounting techniques use in a present scenario to take an efficient decision for the production and sales. For this, my dear friends, you have to learn tools and techniques in an efficient manner. After that you write this question. Yes or no? So let's move to the second aspect, that is a short question. First question is that you define any 2 limitations of the management accounting, and second is define any 2 advantages of management accounting. It's a very easy in nature. The third aspect is multiple choice question. The first question is that which of the following points is to not correct in the limitation of management accountancy? And for that, you have to read the limitations of management accountancy in appropriate manner. So whether it is not very expensive, no, it is expensive in a nature. So ultimately the first is your correct answer, that this limitation is a not correct limitation of management accounting. Second question, management accounting is useful in a following manner. First, helpful in a formulating budget. Yes, that means its advantage is useful in nature. Easy to classification and arrangement of data. Yes, absolutely right. If you have the sufficient data, then you can easily evaluate it and classify it and arrange it in an appropriate manner. Then the preparation of routine reports and special reports. Answer is absolutely right. So all of the above are the useful of management accounting. Yes or no, my dear friends? And the fourth aspect is that reference books for the further reading. If you want to read further for this blog or for this unit, you may refer these books also. So after evaluation of yourself with particular this unit's video, you learn a basic, or we can say the fundamentals of the management accounting. Hope you learn well, hope you enjoy this video. Thank you very much, my dear student.